I'm Bill Swantner, an Extension Certified Volunteer Master Gardener in the state of Texas. If you are going through the Bexar County Master Gardener Internship Program, undoubtedly you will hear David Rodriguez talk about the Morrill Act. Or if you have ever been to any of David Rodriguez's presentations, he will bring up the Morrill Act, which is very significant. The Morrill Act was passed on July 2nd, 1862. It is named after Senator Morrill, I believe, from the state of Vermont. And the idea was to give states land that they could sell or use to establish colleges, land grant colleges. In the state of Texas, our land grant college was Texas A&M College. The purpose of the land grant colleges was a couple of things. One, it emphasized agriculture. We had a growing population in the United States and we needed to feed them. So these land grant colleges were in part to focus on agriculture, growing food to feed this expanding population. Another focus of the land grant colleges was what they call mechanic arts. We needed men, because women at that time could not attend the colleges. We needed men to design, to build, and to maintain machines, because the United States was in an industrial revolution. And we needed machinery. And so these land grant colleges were the place where men could go to school and they could learn to design, build, and maintain these machines. Another aspect of the land grant colleges was to train young men in the military tactics. So you kind of had three things going on. You had agriculture to feed a growing population. We needed machines designed, built, and maintained because we were in an industrial revolution. And we needed more men trained in military tactics. The young men who went to these land grant colleges were not commissioned officers until the 20th century. So the idea wasn't go to A&M, become an officer. The idea was to go to A&M, study either agriculture, mechanics, and receive some training in military tactics. The land itself, given to the states by the federal government, was rarely used for school construction, but rather the land was sold and the proceeds were used by the states to develop their colleges. People of color were often excluded from these educational opportunities. So in 1890, there was a second Morrill Act, really aimed toward the Confederate States, and what it did was it established a separate land grant college primarily for black students. In Texas, our second land grant college was Prairie View A&M. How much land each state was given was determined by the number of representatives and senators. The state of Texas received 180,000 acres to establish this agriculture and mechanical college. In the history of Texas, the Bryan businessmen aggressively promoted the town through the land grant, what they call giveaways. To the agriculture mechanical college, which became Texas A&M, they made a total grant of 2,416 acres. And that land was described as wild, bleak prairie, barren of trees and shrubs, except for one small mesquite tree. What you see now is an absolutely magnificent campus. So in summary, in 1862, the Morrill Act was passed in Congress. It gave land to states to establish land grant colleges. The states sold the land. They developed colleges that focused on mechanical arts, designing, building, and maintaining machines. They focused on agriculture, feeding the expanding population. They taught young men military tactics. And what I forgot to mention earlier was it brought higher education to the states. In the past, people in the various states had to go to the East Coast to get a higher education, but the Morrill Act brought higher education to the states. That's why Texas A&M College was the first institution of higher education in the state of Texas. So there's your Morrill Act in a nutshell.